Laughing Vikings Live. High vibe chats with actors, comedians, and creators, plus stand-up comedy, sketch comedy, and most importantly, you. That's right, join us every Monday for new episodes, and you can be a part of the show on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Twitch. Ask questions and interact in the comments, and make sure to share this with your actor, comedian, and creator friends so they can be a part of the show too. Can't make a live show? No problem. You can catch up on your favorite podcast platform and visit laughingvikings.com to find out how you can join the cast and crew. All right, it's time for today's show. Buckle up and make sure you stick around to the end because we have a special surprise for you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Laughing Vikings Live. Happy Monday Fun Day. Let's go. Hey, we are back here at Laughing Vikings. This is episode 63. I'm Lars. This is Brandon. How you doing there, Brandon?
I'm doing fantastic, Lars. It feels like a good day.
You've got your super sexy Santa hat on with the, what is that, cougar print, leopard print, cheetah print?
Tiger print. White tiger print, Lars.
White tiger print. That's Charlie Sheen's Santa hat. Is that what that is? Made with real tiger's blood?
I stole it from him, actually. It was it was a long, harrowing tale. Yeah, he
probably involved a lot of cocaine, a lot of strippers, a lot of tiger blood, and a lot of rehab, and a lot of the police, probably.
Ocean's 11 would be proud.
Classic Charlie Sheen stuff. Ocean's 11. Yeah. He wasn't in Ocean's 11.
No, but it was like an infiltration of the Charlie Sheen mansion.
I see.
George Clooney, Brad Pitt, and Matt Damon would be proud.
Took a whole team of people. You hired a guy to build a boring machine that bored under Charlie Sheen's mansion.
Yeah, I like to call it the burrowing machine, but all right. We could call it the bored machine too.
For those of you out there who are concerned, no sex workers were harmed in the heist whatsoever. No. Everyone is fine. But the good news is Brandon got the hat. What are we talking about here? Boop. What are we talking about? We got a great episode today. We're going to get into the festive spirit a little bit. In a few minutes, we're going to talk about the top 3 gifts that you can give to the actors in your life, whether that's you as an actor, giving that to your actor friends, actor family members, or if you're just randomly listening to this and you're not an actor and you're like, what the hell do you get these weirdo unicorn people who are actors? We are going to disclose some of our tips and some of our ideas. And one of those gifts just might be something that we offer here at Laughing Vikings as well. So stay tuned for that. But let's catch up. What's going on? How was your weekend?
It was good. It was good. We just launched Side Hustle Quest. That's a new podcast that I'm working on with Sean O'Brien and Kelly McDonald. So that's very exciting. My roommate Zach did the art for it, and it's really good. So nice. I'm very happy about that. How about you?
Congratulations! Wow, you're doing 2 podcasts.
Yeah.
Just living that podcast life.
I am.
Podcasting is life. What's Brandon do? I get up, podcast every day. Podcasting is life. Nothing else matters.
Nope.
Yeah, you're getting lots of
podcasting.
Getting lots of practice, audio practice, editing practice.
Yeah, I've decided that I want to focus on Shakespeare, voiceover, and just myself this coming year. And like that's what I'm very primarily focusing on, and I want to keep charging in that direction.
When you say yourself, what do you mean by that?
Just like building myself up and making sure that I'm doing everything that I need for me, and making sure that my mental health is in check, making sure that everything is just in a better place, and I'm feeling a lot better about life and about just making sure that I put my head down and just keep plugging away, because I know it'll work out in my favor eventually.
Love it. Yeah, it's like that old, what do they always say? It's like everyone uses this analogy of when you're on a plane and the oxygen masks come down, you got to help yourself first before you help other people. Because if you try to help other people, you'll just die in the process, and then you can't help anybody. So, yeah, make sure you get enough oxygen, feed yourself, self-care, self-love, mental fitness, physical fitness. do what you need to do to make yourself feel good, look good, feel good.
Yeah.
I had a great week. A couple things that I was really excited about. Last week, I think it was on, was it Thursday? Actually, yeah, two big things on Thursday. It was either Wednesday or Thursday. I, out of the blue, got an email from Melissa DeMarco, who is an actor, TV personality, and she also has her own, she's an executive producer of her own production company called Out There Productions. In Toronto, there was a show called, is it Out There with Melissa DeMarco? It's her show. And they do something really cool called the Emerging Content Creators, or I guess it's called the Emerging Content Creators summits or conferences. And basically what they do is they go to high schools, and often they're dramatic arts specific high schools and colleges and universities. And they take department heads from every department of TV and film and introduce them to the students. So they give a sort of a little mini master class on what it's like to be a director, what it's like to be a costume designer, what it's like to be a stunt coordinator. And sort of out of the blue, I got asked to be a part of one of those, to speak specifically to actors in the programs, to talk about the experience of becoming an actor, and then more specifically talking about self-tapes here. So I got to do that last week. It was Glendale. So shout out to any of the Glendalians. We did it remotely. We did it via Zoom last week. But it was super fun. I got to do a little interview with Melissa where she talked about my experiences, talked about my sort of opinions on auditions and specifically self-tape auditions. And then we got to do breakout sessions where we did Q&As with them. And I just love that. And it went so well that they asked me to do another one. So I'm popping on another one for a different school tomorrow.
Nice.
And it's great. I love it. The main thing, I mean, I love talking acting. I love talking to actors and performers, period. The cool thing about young people is, and really my main message to them was just hoping that they really understand that they're entering a golden age to be an actor and a performer. There's literally no better time ever in history to be an actor or performer or anyone that wants to tell stories and get them out there. And for a few reasons. One is there's more productions. I think there's 500 or 600 productions being produced between all the networks and studios and streaming platforms. And then the other thing is, if you don't want to deal with any of those people, everyone's smartphone is good enough to shoot, and we have global distribution with the internet. So never has there been less barriers. Like there was a time where you had to, like, there was 5 old white men who owned the studios, and they owned the $1 million cameras and the very expensive cellulose film that they would shoot that stuff on. And if you weren't in a studio system or involved with a TV network, you never had that opportunity. So it was always about how do you smash through gatekeepers, and how do you get producers, directors, and casting directors to kind of let you in the club? But none of that really exists anymore. You can still play that game if you want to get involved with those projects. But if you're a creator out there, you're an actor, you're a performer, a comedian, you don't have to do any of that. Literally, if you never did an audition ever in your life, you could be wildly successful by producing your own content and putting it out there, whether it's a podcast or TikTok videos or Instagram videos or literally whatever you want to do. So that was really inspiring to be able to pass that message on to them. And the other thing that I passed on to them was the idea of making sure to tell their stories as well, especially anyone who is maybe an underrepresented minority, BIPOC, LGBTQ2S type folks. That also is we're in a golden age for that kind of content too, where that was always buried before, and people in those communities were not given the opportunity. Now they have those opportunities to tell their own stories, to lift up and create space for other people to do that. So yeah, I think it's really inspiring to be in that new wave of people, and obviously we're part of it as well. Like, we're living in this age. So yeah, just the idea. I think a lot of people across the board, especially with the news, it's easy to get tricked into thinking like, oh, the world's more fucked up and shitty than it's ever been, and everything sucks, and everything is on fire, and war, and all this terrible stuff. But that's mainly because if you look through the lens of the news on a daily basis, you're just going to be fed all negativity and fed fear. Why? Because they don't get ratings with positive good news. People pay attention to disaster stories, and we're all guilty of that. You hear a horrible story, it's like, oh shit, I got to hear about that. But if you hear like, oh, something great happened in a small community and someone did something heartfelt and loving for someone, it's just like, oh, okay, great. I don't need to worry about that.
That's the in-between piece between the two actual disasters. Right?
Yeah. So it's just the idea that, I mean, we're living, I mean, it's sort of always the best of times and the worst of times, but it's like technologically, we're more advanced than we have ever been. Medicine's better than it's ever been. Science has been better than it's ever been. Entertainment, leisure, food, literally everything's the best it's ever been. So just passing that knowledge on to a bunch of high school students so that you're like realizing, okay, don't get caught up in the news cycle thinking that everything's fucking terrible, because that is a lie meant to sold ad space and to inject fear into people so that then people are making fear-based decisions, often in the form of buying a product that's being advertised on the commercial breaks to make you feel good because, oh, I'm so afraid and everything sucks. I got to buy something to make me feel good as a consumer and to scratch that itch of comfort, to go out there and buy a whatever. But the truth is the best it's ever been. So yeah, it was great. And then the other thing, so again, shout out to Melissa DeMarco and Out There Productions for having me. And for all those high school students, we did an offer to all of them as well, where they can come and get their first audition session free for the ones that are actively auditioning and in the game, so to speak. And then the other cool thing we had was we did a Laughing Vikings live show up in Bracebridge, Ontario. Shout out to Bracebridge and Bracebridge Hall. Bracebridge. It's hard to say that. Bracebridge. So we drove up there, myself, Pat Thornton, and Daniel Woodrow, both of them amazing comedians who have headlined coast to coast, done all the festivals, Just for Laughs, JFL 42, Canadian Comedy Award winners. Daniel just was featured on Roast Battles Canada. And we did a nice little intimate show up there. We were running monthly shows in Bracebridge pre-COVID. And so that's all been shut down for a long time. And this was one of our first shows back into the swing of things. So hopefully that'll sort of gain us a little momentum so that then in the new year we can start having regular monthly shows up there. It's a great venue. It literally looked like the inside. If you were to picture a bar / performance space in a Hallmark movie, that's what we were in. It was decked out. It literally looked like a Hallmark set. Like it was perfect. It was beautiful. So shout out to Keith and Mike, the owners of Bracebridge Hall, and all you Bracebridgians who came out to enjoy the show. We will be back in January, so stay tuned for that. And also you can, regarding comedy shows, if you go to laughingvikings.com/links, laughingvikings.com/links. Our Comedy Alley shows right now for the winter are on hiatus, but there's a button at laughingvikings.com/links if you want to throw that up there, the Comedy Alley link. And you can actually join the wait list for our future shows when we release dates. And by joining that wait list, you're going to get 50% off our next show or your next show that you attend, whether that's a Comedy Alley show or a show at another venue here in Toronto. So stay tuned for those. Again, you go to laughingvikings.com/links, join the wait list, and you'll get 50% off your next tickets for a Laughing Vikings live show. Have a great night with you, your family, your friends, and you can laugh, and just remember that it's not all horrible and bad news. Sometimes you can have a little fun. Yeah. So that was the weekend. We had a great conservatory class today. One thing that came up, somebody mentioned Lawrence of Arabia, and I suggested that they do a remake called Larry of Arabia, starring the cast of Curb Your Enthusiasm. And the whole movie is just going to be Larry David complaining about the heat and the sand. Oh, my God. Oh, it's so hot. Oh, that's so hot. That's my Larry David impression. Uh,
Not bad.
Yeah, Larry of Arabia, right? I feel
Larry,
like that could fly.
I'd
Just
probably watch
sand.
that. Like,
He's just cursing sand. Oh, why am I here? This is terrible. This is awful. It's too hot. Who would build
everybody
a city
loves a
here?
good travel
Who-
story. And you know what? Larry David traveling from one end of the desert to the other and just complaining about it. I'm sure tons of people would watch that.
Right. Yeah. And you can picture
Partway
Larry
through the
David.
movie, there's a mirage that he goes and interacts with. That's like a fabulous resort, and he thinks he's somewhere amazing, and he gets into trouble and apologizes for everything, and then it all disappears, and then he's just left
Right.
in the desert again.
Yeah, it's just him eating sand, thinking that it's a chocolate fondue waterfall.
How do
yeah,
I
I
get
could
all this
see-
sand?
I could see Larry David trying to hop on a camel and figure that whole thing out. Maybe a camel spits in his face.
Oh yeah.
You know, maybe he gets bit by a snake or something somewhere. Spiders, snakes. I don't know. I don't know too much about Arabia, obviously, but Larry of Arabia.
Larry could figure it out.
I like that.
Larry could
Larry of
figure it
Arabia.
out.
Presenting the epic film Larry of Arabia. Who was that? Was that Peter O'Toole? Was that?
Yeah, Peter O'Toole
Yeah.
was Lawrence of Arabia. Yeah.
Right. Well, Larry David, if you're listening, and I'm 99.999% positive you are not, but if anyone is who has a direct link to Larry David, let's pitch him Larry of Arabia. I mean, he can't keep doing Curb Your Enthusiasm forever, right? So, what's Adam Daniel Mazet saying out there?
The broiler needs to eat, and Lars just signed a massive contract with the Blue Jays, 110 million over 5 years. Congratulations,
I'll take it.
Lars.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know what Adam Daniel Mazet has been smoking and or eating, but that's a nice pipe dream fantasy. Oh, it's because of my hat. It's because I'm wearing the Jays hat. I see. That's why. Yes. This is and if just for the record, if I were to try out for the Blue Jays, I would be a walk-on and I would be a specialty relief pitcher. I would just come in key situations for maybe 1/3, 2/3. I think when I used to be a pitcher for a long time, for several years. I was actually scouted by the San Diego Padres and the Montreal Expos from the age of about 14 to 17 until I started to have rotator cuff issues, and essentially I just ended up topping out at about 80 kilometers an hour with my fastball, or 80 miles an hour, which was not fast enough. That's about 15 kilometers too slow for a 17-year-old. But while I was being scouted, I was pretty decent for a kid with my size. So if I come back now, I'll be a specialty reliever. I'm going to have a real wonky delivery. I'll probably throw submarine or sidearm just to fuck with people.
Yeah.
I'm going to do lots of weird things so that people are just like, they don't know how to hit this guy because he's too much of a wild card.
Adam Daniel Mazet was reading my mind. What about a knuckleballer?
What I would throw, not a knuckleball, but my actual strikeouts pitch when I was younger was a forkball, which is essentially you do this with your fingers and just jam it through the seams on the ball. But the action of the ball is kind of tumbling / knuckling to the point where I can't even control it. I didn't know where, like once I released it, it would just dive either down out of the strike zone in the dirt or to the left or the right. One game, as just for fun, we were playing a shittier team than us and we didn't really care. And I literally only threw forkballs I didn't throw a single fastball. I just threw forkballs. The catcher and I were like, you want to just throw forkballs for the whole game? And we're like, yeah. And I would just throw them and they swung and missed. I think I struck out 10 people in 6 innings only throwing those. So
Good for you.
Yeah, you got it. Downward movement, like the Terminator, Tom Hankey. Yeah, Tom Hankey and Dwayne Ward, exactly. And here I would be very intimidating too with my I would probably like head down like this and then lots of like kind of like the way a bull scratches in the ground. I would scratch. You can't see it right now, but I'm scratching my feet back and forth on the mound. I would probably scream stuff. It would be a little mix of, the New Zealand All Blacks, the rugby team, how they do their what's it called, Maka dance or something. Like they do their sort of Samoan Pacific dance before where they get really intimidating. They start grunting and screaming and yelling. Mori haka. There it is. Haka. That would be me. So I'd be out there and I'd be like, just intimidate them completely. I'd be like, I don't even want to go up to plate against this fucking psycho. Just count me out.
Yeah. I am not dealing with that.
Yeah. Side fun fact, I think a fun fan thing that the Major League Baseball team should do is every game, I think they should have like a random draw from a ticket holder, or maybe you got to enter the draw if you think you're good enough. And they give one fan per game and at bat. So every major league team has one out throughout the game where it's just a fan who gets to step up to the plate. Obviously, 99 times out of 100, they're probably going to strike out. But every once in a while, they might get a hit. And or maybe have someone play the outfield. Terrible idea for the game, but fun for fans, I'm sure. Yes.
Adam Daniel giving you a title. Lars Lightning Quicksilver Classington, Setup Man.
Right. There you go. Setup Man. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've talked some brilliant baseball and some sports here. Why don't we get into it? Let's talk. We're talking today top 3 actor gifts for the holidays. So if you've got actors in your life, maybe you are an actor and you got actor friends, maybe you want to buy a present for yourself because you might as well do that. Self-love, right?
Yeah.
So you can give gifts to yourself. You can give gifts to your actor family members and friends. What do we want to start with here? What's the number one option?
The number one option is books. Highly recommend buying any actor books. You can buy almost anything for actors. You can buy The Four Agreements, or The Complete Works by William Shakespeare, or the Lexicons, which are encyclopedias for each Shakespeare word written in Shakespearean text, and it's translated for you. It's split up into 2 books. I believe it's A through H, and then whatever's after H through Z.
Yeah. I believe I is after.
Is it
H.
I? Is it?
Yeah. H-I-J.
H-I. Oh, yeah, you're right. It's such a...
I'm going to suggest for Brandon, we're going to just keep it simple. The book I'm going to buy you, it's called The English Alphabet. It's just 26 pages.
Oh, wow.
Just
really?
Quick 26 pages from A to Z. It's called The Alphabet from A to Z. Yes. The actor's alphabet from A to Z. Are you attempting to tackle large monologues and Shakespearean text? Why not start with the alphabet from A to Z?
Mm-hmm.
What comes
Everyone
after
needs
H?
a refresher, even me.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it is hard to remember without singing the whole song, right? If you're like, oh, what is after that?
It's a song. It's this progression.
Yeah, those are great books. So you mentioned Four Agreements. What were the other ones again?
The Complete Works by William Shakespeare. Lexicons, which are encyclopedias for Shakespearean text. And like really any collection of plays. We got Ibsen, you got Shaw, you got Stoppard, you got Mamet. Any collection of plays for any actor, they will love you forever.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the everlasting search for any actor is to find top writing and top text. You don't become a great actor by reading shitty words. So it's like start with Shakespeare and find all the other classic writers. And there's tons of contemporary writers too. But one of our coaches, Tom Todoroff, always says a career happens when a specific actor meets a specific role. And we've seen that over history. Like, you see many people where it seems like they've just blown up, but they've spent 10, 20, 30 years, but then the stars align and it's just the right actor, the right role at the right time. And this becomes an iconic role in TV or film. They win awards for it and they blow up. And then all of a sudden they're a household name just because it was really the right writer and the right words and the right character matched with the right actor. I've got a couple here.
Yeah.
First, we have, this is To the Actor by Michael Chekhov, not to be confused with Anton Chekhov, but they might have been related. And I think at some point they've both worked with Stanislavski in Russia. But Michael Chekhov there's in this book, there's a ton of exercises that you can do. It's a lot of movement based and sensory. It's really how to use all 5 of your senses, and it's great not only for actors but just for humans to kind of unlock all of your senses and your movements and your emotion and just the shape of acting and the movement of actors. So that one's a brilliant one. And if I would say, if there's only one book, like if you're thinking I'm an actor, I can only afford one book, or I'm in a library and I can steal one book, what is that? Don't steal it, rent it. But if you had to, I believe the one book that would help all actors the most is this one, for 2 reasons. I think it's everything. I think everything is in here for any scene or monologue. This is by Michael Shirtliff, who is a famed Broadway and Hollywood casting director. And he talks about the guideposts, which are also, it's sort of the foundation of Tom Todorow's technique as well, where Tom expanded on these 12 guideposts. But a way to think of them is they're 12 dials that if you look at every bit of text, every scene, every play, every speech, every musical performance, every monologue, these are the 12 dials that you can dial up in a performance to make it a better performance, to make it better storytelling, to appeal to an audience and make an audience laugh, cry, learn, think, all of the things that you want an audience to do. And the other reason for it is those are all the things. As an actor, how do you get jobs? You get jobs by auditioning until you're to the point where you're batting away offers because you're an A-lister or people aren't meeting your $5 million quote. Until that point, you got to audition. So you got to fight for those roles. And this, again, tells you everything that you need to know in an audition to get the part. So I think it's brilliant. It's my favorite book on acting. I kind of always keep it around here. And I try to read a chapter every once in a while and just review a guidepost. And if you're wondering what those guideposts are, should we give them a little rundown?
Oh, yeah.
We'll go back and forth. You start with number 1.
Relationship.
Number 2, conflict. What are you fighting for? How are you meddling?
Number 3, the moment before.
Number 4, humor.
Number 5, opposites.
Number 6, discoveries. What was that?
Number 7, competition, communication competition. Ugh, gonna have to edit
Number
that.
8, importance. Just dial up the importance. So many times scenes, it's just like, make it matter more, care more about it.
Number 9, find the event, which I have discovered is the glue that holds almost all of these guideposts together. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And what are events? Events are when something happens in a scene where things are changed forever. Either your characters change or the situations change.
Well, it can be any change in the scene. Like, and no change is too small. That makes it important, right? Brilliant.
Right. But then if you make everything important, then nothing is important too, which is an opposite as well. Number 10 is place. So how do you figure out in an audition to tell the story that tells where you are a little bit? If you're outside, that might mean throwing your voice a little further or throwing your voice down a hallway. Or if it's very intimate and it's secretive and you're having dialogue that other people aren't going to hear, that might be a couple glances around to see if anyone's listening. And then I lean in, just bringing in place. And that also can mean period as well. If it's an old timey thing, learning the specifics to place. Number 11.
11, game playing, role playing.
Game playing and role playing. Yeah, one of the easiest.
Any character is talking as another character in a scene, make up a voice for that character and just have fun with the scenes. Like, they can add so many dimensions, add so much humor to it. Highly, highly recommend it.
Yeah, that's one of the simplest things, and it's one of the hallmarks of good storytellers, and where it happens the most. If you look at stand-up comedians will never tell a story and and say words in someone else's voice, not in another voice.
Yeah.
And some people will argue, well, I don't always do that. Well, maybe you're not as good a storyteller as you could be. So game playing and role playing. Number 12 is mystery and secret.
Yeah.
Mystery and secret. So where can you find a little mystery? Where can you find some secret, sort of that little X factor, the little secret sauce? And beyond those, for those of you interested in studying with Tom Todoroff, the 3 guideposts that he developed with Michael and after Michael's death was number 13.
Mischief. Where is the danger in your work? Where can you fall flat on your face and as the character, and where would that be, and how would it affect you as the character?
Yeah, think about all your favorite actors, how much mischief there is in it. Jack Nicholson is one that's often given as an example. He's just full of mischief. Number 14 is vulnerability. Am I concealing or am I revealing? In life, we're always either concealing or revealing. And also that plays into opposites as well. If you're a really strong character, where can you find spots to be a little more vulnerable? Vulnerability. It's a good one in life too.
Number 15, architecture. Where can you start that is opposite of the way you finish, so that you as the actor have the best and longest journey possible in the scene that you're given? One of my favorite guideposts.
So check out The Audition by Michael Shirtliff. And those of you who want to expand on that, Tom Todoroff, I'm a member of the conservatory. Brandon's a member of the weekly Zoom, the Saturday workshop. And it's brilliant. And they work largely off of this book. So actor book, get it. I consider it the Bible/Quran of acting, in my opinion. And we want to give another shout out here to a friend of the podcast, actor, producer, and now writer, Taz Garcia. You can check out his first book here is How to Make It From No to Whoa Budget. And his latest book you can find also on Amazon is From Zero to Hero, where he talks a lot about getting into the stunt world in TV and film. So shout out to the books. Knowledge is power if you then execute on that knowledge, but you got to start with the knowledge. So buy an actor a book, buy yourself a book, get some new information. And the cool thing about any book is you read and you find one little nugget that you actually then apply. It can be life-changing. It can book you a gig where you spent $10 on a book, but then you implemented something in an audition that earned you $10,000 or $100,000 or more. So it's huge, huge, huge. Top 3, what's number 2 gifts?
Number 2, classes. Buy actors classes. We love to take them. We can't always afford all of it. So if you can help us out in any way possible, we would very much appreciate that.
Are you just now asking listeners to buy you classes? Is that what this has happened? I see what's going on here.
Where are you, Christmas?
I see.
I need my classes.
Mr. and Mrs. Knox, buy Brandon some classes. Yeah, classes are great. Obviously, as an actor, you want to be on set and on stage as often as possible. But when you're not, you should be spending a good chunk of your time learning and growing and applying. And if you're not on stage and you're not on set and you're not in class and you're not reading and learning, reading scripts or reciting words, then at some point you got to ask yourself, are you an actor? Because the key to actor is actions. And if you're not taking any of the actions that make you an actor, are you an actor? If kind of the tree falls in the forest kind of thing. Bottom line being, continue to work on your craft and to hone your craft. It is an active, you can read books, but you can't just read books. It's like you can't learn golf by reading a book on golf and then never hitting the links. It's like you got to hit a driving range and start practicing at some point. And that's
how many times do I have to hit the driving range?
Until you are better than Tiger Woods, I guess. Yeah.
Let's go.
So yeah, classes, acting classes, that can mean scene study classes, that can mean on camera classes, That can mean voiceover classes, movement classes. There's some great stunt classes and fight choreo through Rapier Wit. We had Daniel Levinson on a few weeks ago. We had Justin from
Justin
Steed
Moses.
and Steel. Yeah, Justin Moses from Steel and Steed. Sorry, I always say Steed and Steel. Steel and Steed. They have classes. There's mocap classes, motion capture for people who want to get into video games.
Yep.
There's
so voiceover classes. On the mic with Kim Herden. I highly recommend that. There's also Second City classes, either brush up on some improv, stand up. They have a ton of classes that are so beneficial for all actors of all different types and all levels of experience.
Right. And special shout out to, again, the Todoroff Conservatory. For me, it was game changer. I had started to do the intensives when Tom was traveling pre-COVID here in Toronto, the weekend intensives, which were great, very transformative. And I would leave those weekend sessions with like 8 or 9 pages of notes where literally every bullet point was like a pearl of wisdom that was a game changer for me. And then pandemic happened and they switched to Zoom doing the weekly workshops. Which at first I really resisted because it's like, oh, well, acting is an in-person thing. You need to have your scene partner. But now the whole world is Zoom casting and self-tape casting. So it was actually a real blessing in disguise because every week we got to hone and craft our Zoom capabilities and our technology capabilities. And really, if you're at this point, this deep into this pandemic and you haven't figured out Zoom and you're uncomfortable and or nervous on Zoom, highly recommend doing those weekly intensives and you'll learn a ton of those guideposts. Tom's a brilliant director, is also very motivating as well. And I find a lot of his teachings and coaching also applies to your life outside of acting. So very transformational. And I'm deep into conservatory with them as well. So you can go to, what's their website? Is it tomtodoroff.com?
Yeah.
Or just search Tom Todoroff. And they always do the first session free. So you can join one of those classes. Every one of their Saturday workshops is 3 sessions in one where you get a voice and speech class, a text analysis class, and then scene study with Tom, where people are doing cold reads, monologues, and scene work, sometimes even audition pieces. And it's just a real deep dive. And the cool thing is it's international. So you end up meeting people from all over the world and you can really expand your community. And all of a sudden you're going to have friends in every major city in the world who are actors. So you want to travel to Portugal, you're going to have friends in Portugal. You want to travel to Mexico City, now you got actor friends in Mexico City and LA and New York and everything in between. So classes, check them out.
And our final and third gift for your actor, family, and friends. Lars, do you want to take this one away?
Yeah, we're going to do a special holiday gift certificate offer here. So everyone listening, especially our members, but even if you're a non-member, you can get member pricing. And what we're going to do is we're going to do another 5-pack special. So you can give the gift of 4 audition sessions here at our Actors Audition Club, and you get a 5th for free. That's so it's $197. They're usually $49 each. So you're getting 5 for the price of 4. And if you go to laughingvikings.com/links, you will see that there's a button there. It says holiday gift certificates. You can get that for your friends. You can get that for yourself. Because what does it come down to? What does every actor want? If you really asked every actor what they want, like if you went, I'm a magic genie, what do you want? They're going to say more roles. They want more bookings, more roles, more time on stage, more time on set. How do you get that? Through auditions. So you want to help an actor out, help them get professional auditions. We here at Actors Audition Club, we help actors rehearse and record professional auditions via Zoom or in person without tech troubles, without having to bug your family and friends, ultimately so that you can focus on your acting, you can have more fun and book more roles in TV, film, commercials, and theater. And you do that through auditions. So the number one thing that you can gift to an actor is a professional scenario where they can get a professional session director to help them submit a professional quality audition tape and book that role. Adam Daniel Mazet says he can totally swear by those, re-upping with another holiday pack. So you heard it from ADM. Again, go to laughingvikings.com/links. And I'll tell you this, the link will expire at midnight on Christmas Day. So you have up until 11:59, December 24th, to scoop up those holiday 5-packs. You're going to get 5 audition sessions for the price of 4. And now when I say for the price of 4, that's the membership price. Normally, if you were not a member here at Laughing Vikings, the non-member price is $79 for one of those sessions. When you join Actors Audition Club, you're going to get those sessions for $49 each. But this special holiday, you get 4 plus 1 free. So you get 5 for the price of 4. So this is literally the best pricing that you could ever get. And if you're thinking, oh man, I don't know if I can afford that, think of the return on investment. What's the return on investment when you book one of these gigs? Probably minimum $500 for the day. So that's like a 10-fold return on one session. But if it's an actor gig, you're probably making closer to $1,000 to $1,500 to $2,000 for that day. And if it's a lead or a recurring, we're talking 5 figures into 6 figures. So rather than think about what the audition is going to cost you, think of what are you investing in and how are you going to get a return on that investment. And if you're going to invest in anything, it should be your craft, which is classes, and 2, your auditions, which is how you convert your craft and the knowledge you learn in classes into a role by submitting a stellar standout audition. So go to laughingvikings.com/links. Get the holiday 5-pack. It's only available till December 24th at 11:59, and then it goes away. And then I will also say, for those of you who are not members, we're going to do a big membership push. We're opening the doors to our membership between now and January 1st. So if you were not a member, or if you are a former member and maybe for whatever reason you put it on pause, now is the time to get back on board as a member of Actors Audition Club, where you can get involved with us. You can connect with us via Zoom or in studio. You access our online archive of actor training videos that we've compiled over the past couple years. All kinds of goodies, all kinds of bonuses. But we're going to do that between now and January 1st. And then we're going to close the membership. I'm going to shut it down. So if you're not a member by January 1st, that's okay. You can still visit us, but you'll pay the full non-member prices, and you won't have access to all the benefits and all the perks of being a member. You won't be in the club, so to speak. So you got between now and January 1st. And we're also going to do a little referral bonuses for people who are already members. If I haven't exactly decided on it, but we're going to give a little reward, little incentive. So if you want to refer a family member or a friend to the Actors Audition Club, and give yourself the advantage by being a member of Actors Audition Club, you got between now and the end of the year. So you can kick off 2022 with a bang, with a community, with professional auditions, and you can get yourself on set and get a return on those investments by booking your dream roles in 2022.
Ho, ho, ho. That sounds like a great deal.
It is. Yes. All right. Well, there it is. So actor gifts for the season: buy them their favorite books, buy them their favorite classes, or invest in some audition sessions with the buy 5 for the price of 4 here at Actors Audition Club. And again, if you're not a member, you have between now, I'm drawing the line in the sand. This is the first time we put this on blast. Often we've had the membership just open so that people can join. We're not going to do that anymore. And here's the reason: people don't act when they don't have deadlines. So I'm going to say this: you have between now and January 1st to join Actors Audition Club, or it's going to close. And I don't know when we're going to open it again. So you can hop on board between now and the first of the new year and get involved with what I feel is a pretty darn good community here in Toronto and internationally. We have members all over the place.
I like it. I like being a part of this community.
Yes. Yes, and we like having you. We like having you. All right, we're gonna. I think we're gonna go a little shorter on this one than usual. But what do you want to finish up with?
So we did have an audience slash member question, which was, what are commercial buyouts for non-union commercials? So I've done some digging on this, and it's fairly simple. So a commercial will buy the rights to air the commercial for as long as they want to use it. So it could be $1,000 for 1 year, or it could be $2,000 for 3 years. And the actor is getting that lump sum of money. So they are getting that $2,000 or $1,000, depending on the contract, for that length of time. But they have absolutely no rights to the project once they have received that $1,000. But if the company that you film the commercial with wants to renew that for another year or 2 years or whatever, depending on how successful it is, they can re-up with you for a new set amount, depending on what the commercial made. So like if it did really, really well, it could be a 5-figure deal, or it could be another $1,000, maybe $2,000. But that's very much dependent on if they want to renew the contract with you. So I just want to make this very clear, especially for non-union performers. You do not get any residuals when you accept this buyout. You only get the buyout money, which is a good lump sum, but sometimes it is better in the long run to become a union member, because you will get residuals on those sorts of projects.
Right. Yeah. The difference in union would be you could get residuals based on where it's airing and what market it airs in and how long it airs in, really in perpetuity as long as it's active. But also in non-union stuff, like you were saying, you get the buyout, but then if that buyout was only for a year's use and then they end up using it after, you get those renewals too. I've had in non-union and union things, they call it mailbox money. And I've had a lot of this with commercials where it's something I did 5 years ago. There's a Johnsonville sausage commercial that I did about 4 years ago. And like for the last 4 years, once a year, I get a check for like $4,000 for a day's work that I did. So I think I've been paid like in the magnitude of 12 or 15,000 for literally 12 hours work one day to do it. I got paid nice upfront, but they just keep using that commercial and it keeps airing. Another fun one I had was a Neutrogena commercial. It was actually my first paid acting gig. And at the time it was a new media, just internet only commercial. So it was a little lower paying than normal. Paid maybe I feel like it paid maybe $400 for the session or $500, which is low for a union thing, but it was because it was an internet only. But what happened is the spot was really successful in the ad world, especially. And it made one of those end of the year, like top 10 funny commercial TV shows. So then when the spot aired on a TV show, I got a residual check in the mail for that television airing, which was more than I got paid to do the commercial in the first place. So that's one of the great things about TV and film is residual income or renewal income, where you're not just getting paid for the original time, you're getting paid over and over and over again. And when you get to the point where you're on a certain series, especially when they reach things like syndication, where they've been around for like 100 episodes, that's a game changer, where you just be a made man or woman for the rest of your life, really never even need to work again, because you have all this cashola coming in every year. Like think about what Seinfeld's making on residuals and now he's the executive. They're the creators and executive producers of the show, so that's a little different. But yeah, great question. And the thing that you want to do is, if you're a union person, talk to your union rep, talk to your agent. Really look at those contracts. It's tough in the beginning. You just kind of gotta sort of just trust, and just whatever the money they give you is what they give you. But also ask those questions so you start understanding your contracts and making sure that you and your agent know what's going on and how you're getting paid and when you're getting paid. But the nice thing about being in the union is a lot that is much more clear. In the union, non-union, it's really wild west as far as when you get paid. I remember I would do work in the non-union world, and it would be like 4 months, 5 months later, I still haven't been paid, because it's just like kind of pay you when you pay you. But not in the union world, there's bylaws where all the productions who are contracting with union members, they have to pay usually within 14 days of the session, and then within, I think, 3 weeks of when it airs as well, or it might be the opposite. Maybe it's within 3 weeks of the session and 2 weeks of in the airing. But they got to pay you within a certain deadline, or then they owe you penalties as well, which is great. So the union helps protect you from not being paid, which sucks when you're a non-union person, because you get all excited. You're like, oh my God, I booked a gig, like got some money coming in, and then you go do the work, and then it's 4 months later and you haven't seen a cent for it. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, there's a bad, not every company, but there's a bad practice. I feel is a bad practice, where it seems like the talent in a lot of non-union productions, the talent gets paid last. Like the crew's been paid, catering's been paid, all the contractors and the carpenters and the locations people, they've all been paid. And it's like 4 months later, and because the spot hasn't aired yet, they haven't paid the talent, which is excruciatingly frustrating when you're an artist early on.
Yeah, no, and I get that.
Yeah.
So question. Adam Daniel Mazet has a segment suggestion for us. One, recommended series, film watches, things you've recently seen that you recommend, and the reason why we should watch them. 2, take a scene from a series, film you've recently watched and parse it out from an actor's perspective. Did I say that right? Parse it out.
Yeah.
What does parse mean?
Good question. Parsnip and Old Lace, I think. Wasn't it an old play? Parse it out. Yeah, I mean that's cool. I mean, that comes under the same category of reading great scripts, watch great TV and film with great actors, award-winning. And I would say, watch. I mean, not that you can solely judge everything based on whether it's won an award, but there's some things that aren't worth watching. So if you're watching crap to learn the craft, I wouldn't watch that stuff. Be careful what you're watching. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's so many films out there. A recommendation we get a lot from Todorov is the Criterion Channel, and it's only award-winning, like top-notch, like heavy-hitting films, jammed full of award winners and award-winning writing. So you got to watch good stuff.
Another comment is another shitty thing, Lars. You rarely get the footage from the non-union stuff, and it rarely gets finished. All that work and nothing to show for it.
Yeah, that can sometimes happen. I would say the biggest recommendation for anyone, again, early on, a lot of the value in doing some of the work is getting that demo footage together so you can have a reel and then show people this is who I am as an actor. That my suggestion for people is develop a personal contact early on when you're working. It could be the production manager, it could be the production coordinator, it could be an AD, some point of contact, and ask them while you're on set or somewhere while you're shooting, hey, like, when do you think this is going to come out? Who do I contact? And so you lay that groundwork up front, where they're like, yeah, just shoot me an email, and as soon as it's done, we'll send you. Because sometimes you can get raw footage, sometimes you can get the end footage. I mean, ideally you want the fully edited, color corrected footage with all the music and sound correction and everything like that. Mm-hmm. But I find that does come from having that personal contact, where someone is like, yeah, just shoot me an email, versus if you try and track it down later. If it's commercials, go to ispot.tv, and the majority of commercials you'll find there. A lot of times you can find things, everything kind of lands on YouTube as well. So you can find things on YouTube that then you can rip from YouTube. Although sometimes the quality isn't as good because people upload them and they do funky things to protect, to stop the YouTube algorithm from flagging it as copyrighted material. You've probably seen that kind of stuff, but yeah. try and develop those relationships up front with people so that you make it clear, like, hey, it's really important to me. I really want to get this footage. Who do I contact? And they're like, yeah, just shoot Derek an email in 30 days and he'll take care of you. And if you don't establish who that is up front, then yeah, it's extremely difficult to get it later on.
Yeah.
Good question.
All right. I think we can wrap things up now. You ready for quote of the week?
Hit me.
All right. So our quote this week is, may your walls know joy, may every room hold laughter, and every window open to great possibility. We want to wish everybody here a happy holidays and enjoy this time of reflection and family and joy, because that's what it's all about. It's all about getting to spend that time together, and it's so important now and so crucial that we're able to hold on to those relationships, and we're making sure that everyone in our life is made to feel as valuable as they deserve to be.
Yes. Yeah, and it's obviously end of year is always a time to reflect on all your wins over the year, and then simultaneously look forward. Although I think you should do this always, it's just there's a heightened awareness of it around the end of the year with New Year's and with resolutions. But look at all the things you've done well, reflect on that, all the new relationships you've developed, all the roles you've booked, the auditions you've done, the callbacks, the progress you've made, not just in your acting life, but everywhere in your life. And then also remember that wherever you are right now, there's still a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks left in this year. I think sometimes people make the mistake of like, oh, it's December. In January, I'll worry about that stuff. But also there's plenty of time to start. Like, I'll use fitness as an example. A lot of people right now are like, okay, yeah, come January 1st. Why not hit it right now? Get a bit of a launch pad up for yourself so that by the time January 1st comes around, you're already in good health habits of nutrition and working out and fitness. Or if it's acting things, join Actors Audition Club now so that by January, you're already in the loop here with us and you got a good rhythm for your auditions. And then you know in your head, okay, the second I get my best next audition opportunity from my agent, I'm going to deliver the goods. I'm going to crush it. I'm going to have a professional audition that wows casting and wows my agent. And you can really launch off in 2022. So don't take for granted. I think sometimes, have the downtime and have some decompression time, but also don't let these hours and days just like waste away thinking that, this is like, there's a weird like in between time where sometimes people just kind of lose 2 weeks of their life and all they do is eat bonbons and drink eggnog. But you can really you can finish the year strong, and you can set your next year up really strong with a little strategic focus right now. But also enjoy yourself and have fun and connect with family and connect with friends, because at the end of your life and at the end of the year, that's going to be the stuff that matters. You're not really going to look back at your life and think like, oh, I wish I'd made more money, or if only I had one more IMDb credit. You're going to think, who was around me? Who did I love? What did I give to them? How are they going to remember me? And that's the important stuff.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Have a fantastic week. Like, subscribe to this video, subscribe to our channel, subscribe to all the podcast platforms that we're on, because we want to have you in our audition club.
Right. Yeah. And I just want to say this right now. If you've heard, you know how you listen to things, like sometimes you listen to a podcast every week and you never or you never subscribe, or you never leave a comment. You just hear us saying that every time and you don't do anything. If you're hearing this and you've heard it before and you heard us subscribe or follow us at Laughing Vikings on Instagram, just do it right now, once and for all. Like, actually do it. Don't be one of those people who just listens to it every day and they're like, oh, I get to hear. What a waste of your life. Don't hear us every week say subscribe to the podcast. Just subscribe to the podcast, and then you can tune that part of the show every week. And also go to laughingvikings.com/links, and you can take advantage of that holiday 5-pack audition club session at laughingvikings.com/links. 5 audition sessions for the member price of 4. There will never be a better value and a better offer here for audition sessions through Actors Audition Club. And if you're not a member, as Brandon said, now is the time to join. You got between now and January 1st to hop on board. And then we're shutting the gates. Why are we doing that? We're going to shut the gates to see what we can do to increase and improve the club and our systems and work with our actors here. Make sure everyone's strong, make sure everyone kicks off 2022 with a bang. And then we'll reevaluate when we're going to open that. But now's your opportunity to get on board to make sure that you start 2022 with a bang.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Bye-bye.